Hello, I'm Michael Finley. I'm a candidate for President of the United States in 2016 by write-in vote only because I don't have a political party. And I'm here to tell you a surefire way to have world peace. That's right. Everybody seems to want world peace. Well, maybe not everybody. There's a few people who seem to want war, and that's why we keep having them. So let's talk about this. A lot of people talk about world peace. People pray for world peace. Children ask Santa Claus for world peace. Is it possible to have it? I'm here to tell you the good news. The good news is, yes, we can have world peace. And the formula is exceptionally simple. Here it is. Listen carefully. The way to have world peace is stop following psychopaths. That's right, it really is that simple. Now, if you were to go around the world and talk to the average human beings in every country, you know what? Most of them do not want war. You got a lot of leaders that want war. You have a lot of rich people who make money off of war, whether they're bankers or the military and industrial complex or something. They like war, but the average human beings, they're not so fond of it. They don't like, say, not knowing if their home is going to be bombed in their sleep. It's not something most people want. Most people don't like the idea of other human beings being killed unnecessarily. Well, people think it's great when a horrible dictator, at least somebody they've been told is a horrible dictator, gets toppled or he's taken out of power. Boy, that's just wonderful. Of course, you weren't oppressed by that person, and you didn't see the things happen in that other country where we're told that those people in that country were oppressed by that person, which makes you wonder, if they were so oppressed, why didn't they do something about it? I mean, it's their country, right? But we won't go there right this minute. Let's talk about psychopaths. Let's learn to recognize a psychopath so that we don't put them into power, and if they're in power, we take them out of power. Okay? Let's look at some profiles of psychopaths for a minute. If someone says something to you like, "As President of the United States, I have the authority to use drones to kill even American citizens, even on American soil," the word for that is psychopath. If you hear a senator who says something like, "You know, I received a lot of calls and emails from my constituents, and the overwhelming majority of them did say that they are opposed to our country going to war with Syria. So, but the problem is that I've been a senator for about 20 years, and I think that I know more about what's good for the American people than the American people do." The word for that is psychopath. You know, have you ever had a neighbor who's a control freak, who wants to stick their nose in everybody's business, wants to tell everybody how to live their lives, and if they don't live their lives the way that neighbor thinks they should, neighbor starts interfering with things, causing problems for them, trying to force them to live the way that neighbor thinks they should? What do you think of that neighbor? Psychopath, right? Nut job. Not the kind of person you like running your homeowners association. Although seems to be an awful lot of those kinds of people running homeowners associations nowadays. But anyway, the U.S. keeps doing this with other countries. And we're not necessarily the only country doing that kind of thing either, where we say, you know what, we are going to remove the leader in this other country, and then we're going to control the way that the people of that country select their new leader. Because, you know, since we believe in democracy, of course, we think the people should have the right to choose what kind of government they have. And we're fine with that, as long as what they choose is a democracy. I mean, heaven forbid they should choose a different kind of government that we don't like. Okay, well, the word for that is psychopath. That's the same as that nosy neighbor who wants to control everybody. That's a control freak. Okay? Here's a great one. How about when somebody says, you know, we've been telling the whole world that the people who attacked us on September 11th were Al-Qaeda. But it seems like it would be a really good idea to give a bunch of weapons and money and supplies and maybe even some training to Al-Qaeda in Libya and Syria so that they can help us get rid of Gaddafi and Assad. Okay, somebody who is willing to hand a bunch of weapons and money to known terrorists, there is only one word for that. You can say it with me. Let's say it together. You ready? Psychopath. That's right. Only a psychopath hands out weapons to known terrorists who are enemies of the United States. Okay? So, that's what our government's doing. So when you see people doing that, it should have a little bell go off in your head. Psychopath. We should not be following that person if we want world peace. Okay? Now, what can we do about this? I mean, these people are in charge, for crying out loud. How do we get them out of power? Well, unless you really think that the psychopaths outnumber the sane people, it's really simple. We outnumber them. So we learn how to use those overwhelming numbers to our advantage. Now, if I'm wrong, if the psychopaths outnumber the sane people, then we're screwed. And forget it. So if that's what you really think, then, you know, sit back, enjoy your next TV show, whatever, have a beer. If you are like me and you think that the sane people outnumber the insane people in this world, then it's really easy. The sane people take over. Now that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do it in a peaceful way. Okay? I'm trying to do it by becoming president of the United States. Now some people will say something like this. Well, I'm not sure you're sane, Mike, because somehow you think you're going to become president of the United States without accepting a single campaign contribution. Maybe you're delusional. I'm not delusional. I'm consistent. There's a really big difference. If I say to you the problem with American politics is there's too much money in the system. There's too much buying of votes and influence in the system, and that is causing corruption, then it would be hypocritical of me to accept a bunch of campaign contributions in order to become president. It's called selling your soul. It's called being a political prostitute. I'm not for sale. As much as I'd like to fix this country, I'm not going to sell my soul to do it. Okay? Maybe you can think of some other ways, hopefully peaceful, where the American people can do something where the overwhelming, I hope, numbers of sane people can take control back from the insane people. Okay? So let's see what we can do. But I promise, if we figure out how to do that, we'll have world peace. My name is Michael Finley. Write my name in on your ballot in 2016. If you like what I have to say, share it with other people. Tell them about it. Let's rally the people together. Writing my name on the ballot in 2016 is a great big screw you to the powers that be. Join me. I'm Michael Finley, and I endorse this message.